myself from the beginning entrance. I walked through that door. It's fair to say I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it, and this is different than everyone else's thing. I'm doing a speech because I want to be a preacher and a pastor when I grow up, and that involves a lot of public speaking. And I'm not that great at it, but just in case, I have my speech right here in my hand. I think I have it memorized. So I'm going to start off by explaining to you guys the story of Hosea and Gomer. So Hosea, he was a prophet of Israel. This is like 700 years ago, or 2,700 years ago. There's like no cell phones and stuff like that. It's a long time ago. What that basically meant was he was like the most famous guy in the entire nation. So people knew who he was. And he was married to a woman named Gomer. And together they had 3 kids, so it was a family. And one day Hosea woke up and he couldn't find his wife. She wasn't home, the kids didn't know where she was, no one knew where she was. And what had happened was Gomer left her family to go into prostitution. That's a big deal. This isn't a small choice, that's a painful choice to make for Hosea and the family. That was a painful thing. And we can't belittle that. Hosea was deserted because his wife valued sex more than the family. And Hosea's reaction to this is he decided to go out into the city that the citizens of that city knew who he was. He had a reputation. And he went through the streets and asked people where his wife was. So he would go to someone and he would be like, hey, do you know where my wife is? That's your wife, Hosea. You should know where she is. He's the most famous guy in the nation. He's the leader of the entire nation, and he can't even hold on to a wife. That's a painful pursuit for him, to go look for his wife. And he winds up finding her, and she's chained and has a price on her head. She's literally being auctioned off. And his reaction to that is to pay her a price. She didn't deserve to be bought. She didn't deserve anything that Hosea was doing for her. He gave up his entire reputation just to show her love. And we have such a messed up idea of what love is today. We know it's not selfish, but sometimes we act like it is. And we focus on what we can get from a love relationship. And I'm not talking about a romantic love relationship where it's just 2 people. I don't understand why people decide to limit love, something as powerful as love, to just 2 people in a romantic couple. Love is the most powerful thing that we have available to us. And it's hopeful and kind and patient. And it's more than just a feeling. You can love someone and say that you love them, but unless you show them that you love them, you're not really loving them. And I see so many people do this, and I do it too, but we can put our faith and our hope in things that don't really matter. And doing that can make us feel lost. We can put our faith and our hope in things, and we can fight for things that are basically meaningless, and they won't get us anything. And we can all agree that at some point in our lives, we have done something, and we have fought for something, and when we got that something, it was meaningless. It didn't get us anything. And this is going to be one of the truest things you have ever heard. That sex, being popular, alcohol, and drugs are worthless things to chase after and will only make you feel worthless. And sometimes we'll find ourselves in this race. We'll be running after what we want, we'll be fighting for what we want, and we'll get what we want, and we'll look back at what we accomplished and see very little meaning behind it. I want to know what you're running after. I want you to think about what you're fighting for and what you're running after in life. And is it worth it? And remember that just because you want something doesn't make it right. Your desires don't justify the cause. Is it really worth it? And I remember when I first found out that people in my school that I went to school with were so depressed that they would go to the point of self-harming themselves. And I remember just being furious at the fact that people I saw every single day felt so unloved that they would do that. I see people every single day, and I should be loving them. They shouldn't feel like that. That's not okay. And I want everyone here to know that if you need someone to talk to, you can talk to me. There's people in your life you can talk to. I don't care if I don't know you. I don't care if you know me. I care about you, and I will help you. And I want you guys to know that you shouldn't be putting your faith and your hope in things that are worthless and that are meaningless, and things that don't matter, because people matter and love matters. And I challenge you guys to just show love in what you do, to fight for it. Because those things are worth it, and they change everything. Boom.